many of you are here, you know the history of the SoundPlex. We're in an old warehouse. It's had many, many generations over the last 30 years, and art has found its way and kind of grown here in a lot of different ways, with food, with art, with music, with any way that you can bring creation to life. A lot of that has happened here. And so we're very grateful to George and the SoundPlex for being open to any and all crazy creative ideas, because he certainly has really embraced this. And I'm Kelly Lyons. I'm the Gourmet Mama. Welcome to Season 2, Episode 2, Sinatra, Spaghetti and Meatballs. And I have with me today Dan Ninerell, who's my special guest, and he owns, here we go, Dan, what am I going to not pronounce right? Dan's company is called?
Modern Classical Chefs.
Modern Classical Chefs. And for whatever reason, I cannot get the words right for his title of his company, but I know exactly what he does. And he goes into people's home and he prepares dinner. And so instead of going to the restaurant, you can have an amazingly prepared European-style, French, Italian in your home, upscale eating in your home. And so he is one of the best, and I couldn't wait to get him on the show. And so I was shocked when I said, what do you want to cook? I thought we were going to go full out. Beurre Blanc. We were going heavy sauces. We were going to be in the south of France. And what did Dan decide to make?
Meatballs.
Meatballs. Dan is Italian, and I am also half Italian. My first episode was meatballs. And so when Dan said, let's do meatballs, I said, we are so doing meatballs. So here we go.
All right.
Dan, take it away.
Thank you. Thank you, Gourmet Sister. Gourmet Mama. I forgot the name. No.
I wanted to make sure I got it right, Dan.
I'm
sorry.
I love Kelly. I do. So I grew up Italian. We had pasta and meatball every Sunday. Like it was just what you did, right? Like my mom would make a batch of sauce. She'd freeze it. We'd have it, a second, and she'd make it, the second week, a different kind of pasta. And I grew up with this, so I could do this like blindfolded. So when Kelly approached me, I'm like, we got to do meatballs, right? So a couple ground rules. We're going to do two things. Number one, everyone has their own recipe, okay? Everyone, it's okay. Cooking, you do what you got to do. But we have a ground rule tonight. Danielle Wozniewski. It's called sauce. Okay? It's called sauce. Sauce. So see, right?
We're gonna
security. Take all these people out.
We're gonna pull the gong.
So the meatballs, you make the meatballs, you fry the meatballs go into the sauce flavors the meatballs flavor the sauce. And it's like a 3-4 hour thing on Sunday. This is something you do on the weekend, right? You can't do this quick. And it's a wonderful, amazing thing. Like my car smelled so good coming over here. So
mine too.
I am so excited to do this. So let's dig in.
All right.
You ready?
But first we need to talk about the sauce problem.
All right. Well, it's your show, so.
So the history of gravy, and
my
very Irish father is sitting in the audience, but he actually researched it because it's been a long-standing debate. Is it sauce? Is it gravy? So the difference is, if it is a meat base, if it has meat in it, it is a gravy. By culinary definition, it is a gravy if it's a meat base. Now, tomato sauce, marinara sauce, that is just sauce.
All right. And I will do this every time. And off the boat Italian, I ask them,
Yep.
Is it gravy or sauce? And they say sugo.
Sugo.
And that means sauce in Italian. So it's sauce. But I'm on your show, so what do I do?
Listen, there's 15 words for sauce in Italy, so you never know.
All right. I love you anyway.
I love you too. All right. Let's make your meatballs, Dan.
All right. So this is what I do, right? So this is everyone's got their own recipe. Some people use just beef, right? I use the tri-mix. I got beef, pork, and veal, right? That's the holy trinity of doing the meatballs. So we're gonna season it. Yeah, right? So we're gonna season it, a little salt. My wife can't stand salt, sorry.
Oh my goodness.
We're going to do some pepper.
She'd die at my house.
Right? We're going to turn it over. We're going to season the other side. I got sea salt right here, right? It's beautiful salt. And a little bit of pepper on there, okay? Right? So we're going to put this in here. And now the magic happens, okay? So we have everything prepared here, right?
Dan was way more prepared than I ever am. Right, Dan?
So this is one of those things, like, I'm like that guy that, like, I hate when, like, you get the grandma recipe. You know, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I don't know. So I had to, like, kind of think about this, right? So.
Are you sure you wanted to be on this show?
Yeah.
Because
So
I never have recipes.
2 tablespoons of parsley, right?
That looks like 2 tablespoons.
Right. We're going to do a little cheese, and you get the good cheese. Don't get the Kraft. Get the Parmigiano Reggiano, okay? Get the good stuff. This really, it makes a difference. It does. Or Locatelli. I got Locatelli out there for the pasta.
Yep.
Okay?
Or Grana
You're right.
Padano. You know, one of the hard cured cheeses.
You know, we're going to do like a couple teaspoons of that. Then we're going to turn it over. We're going to season the other side, right? You know, a little parsley on there. A little bit of cheese. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot the breadcrumbs, right? We're not using the dried breadcrumbs. Get a couple hoagie rolls, right? Couple day-old hoagie rolls. Cut them in half. Soak them in milk. And these are your breadcrumbs. And you put those in your meat mix. And it's brilliant, right? So you soak them in milk. If you don't have milk, do it in water, okay? But you scrape out all the white part of the hoagie
Pull
roll.
off the crust and just pull the inside out.
And I give the crust part to my dogs.
Oh, yeah. Or
You know,
whoever.
they-
The birds
they're
ate
sitting
it
there.
at our
They're
house.
ready for me, right? Garlic. We got to have garlic. Now, these aren't garlic balls, right? They're about 1 clove. About 1 clove does it. And this, by the way, this is about 2.5 pounds of meat, right? So about 1 clove is good for that, okay? So we'll do a little bit of that. We'll do a little bit of...
As you can see, he's measuring everything.
Right? And 1 egg, right? 1 egg per pound of meat. This is about 1.5 pounds. I'm going to use 1 egg. I do it by feel. Like, I don't want it to be too dry. I don't want it to be too wet, you know? So it's by feel. It's like, this is cooking, right? Cooking is organic, you know? It can be what you want it to be. So I'm going to put that egg in there. So we got to get in there.
It's a lot easier to mix meat.
We got to get dirty. I always wondered, like,
gloves
what's under my wedding ring, right?
Don't think about it. Don't think about
I
it.
can't take it off, so I can't clean it. It's you know, it's on there. So, you know, I'm going to put the gloves on, you know. And by the way, always wash your hands. When you're handling meat, always wash your hands, okay?
Before, during, and after.
Yeah,
Right?
chicken,
That's the yeah,
right,
always.
You know?
Do
So,
yourself a favor.
and now we're going to mix this up. Is that on?
I'm going to put it on. You want it on?
It smells like it's on.
I put it on and then I turned it off because it was getting hot.
All right, so some people say, you know, you got to mix it light. You just got to mix it like there's 3 kinds of meat in here. So you just got to make sure it's well mixed, you know, when you do it.
And what did you put in this pan, Dan?
Oh, I just put a little olive oil in
Okay.
there just to season. I'm going to put olive in there to fry it.
Okay,
So
I'll wait.
Uncle Juice, you know, my Uncle Giuseppe, we call him Uncle Juice. You know, he says, Daddy, you got to use olive oil. Extra virgin. It's got to be extra virgin. So the olive oil I use is always extra virgin because that's what you got to use. All right. Now, if you can turn that on, please.
Certainly. So I don't know if you guys know what extra virgin means, but it all denotes the press of the olive. So they bring the olive into the press and they press it, and the first couple presses are virgin olive oil, extra virgin, and so typically you want some of the first press coming out instead of the stuff that's left.
Now, I was talking to Kelly the last time I was with her, and she's like, oh my God, you use olive oil? I'm like, yeah, I use olive oil. Doesn't it the smoke point? No, you don't fry it and kill it.
I do. But
You
we're
gotta,
going to
like,
do my
you do it
segment
low
next,
and
and we'll see how we do.
Right?
He's much more of a low and slow.
Right? Low
I
and
work on
slow.
cast iron, and I just turn it up to 500 and let it go.
This is my dad, right? My dad told me you make, you know, golf ball size meatballs, right?
Too
That's
small?
what you do, right? Golf ball size.
Oh, really? Okay.
So you got to put them, then we're going to put them in the sauce, and all that. And the sauce, all you people are cringing out there.
He's sticking to it, and that's all right.
And I got to call out my wife here, right? My wife's in the audience tonight, Tanya.
Hi, Tanya.
I love you, Tanya. I'm my #1 food critic, and believe me, she'll tell me if I suck. So we're dating, and I'm like, I made her sauce, and I was like so proud to give her. I'm a bachelor, and I give her the sauce, and I'm so proud. And she's like, how'd you like it? She's like, mm-hmm. I'm like, what do you mean, mm-hmm? She's like, Dan, it sucked. I'm like, it sucked? Like, what? So I went to my dad. I'm like, Dad, my sauce sucked. Like, what am I doing wrong? And he said, Dan, he goes, you gotta, and this is sauce. Like, we're doing meatballs here, but the sauce you're gonna taste tonight. He's like, you gotta have the Calabrian secret weapon. And the Calabrian secret weapon was a little sliver of green pepper and a carrot. So when you think about that, right? Like some
What does
people,
that do, Dan?
Well, some people put sugar in there. I mean, that's okay if that's what you do. The carrot sweetens the sauce. The carrot sweetens the sauce, and the green pepper like really imparts this really amazing, earthy kind of flavor to it. And that's the way I do it. Ever since I started doing that, what do you think, Tanya?
Yeah.
Right?
So
No complaints.
if you just make your sauce with tomatoes, it has a tendency to fall acidic because tomatoes are extremely acidic. And so there's a couple different ways you can temper out that acidity. And some people add sugar. Some people add half and half. The carrot has a lot of sugar in it. But the other thing, what did Aunt Annie do, Dad? Do you remember? She used to throw a celery stalk in it, the whole stalk with the leaves and everything, and leave it cooking, and that would take out the bitterness too. So there's a bunch of different ways that you can counteract your sauce and your tomato sauce.
That's what I'm talking about, right? There's no like.
And the meatballs are the same thing, right? How many people here have a meatball recipe?
Every family's got their own recipe, right? So there's no right or wrong, right?
And Dan and I were talking, this is a legacy. Meatballs are a legacy. They are handed down from generation to generation. You always remember eating them at your grandmother's, your mother's, whatever. And even if you're not Italian, I think that everybody kind of has a meatball recipe. And so I think it also is something that kind of brings everybody together, and you can really do your thing. We're getting all crazy with the meatballs today because we're doing.
I like you. You got it. You got
authentic Italian meatballs.
Your name's like Lyons. I'm like, what are you like? You're not Italian. He's like, yes, I am. I'm half Italian.
I'm just as much Italian as I am Irish.
The good half. Right?
Yeah, I give them equal play. Last episode we did St. Patrick's Day, corned beef, and this episode we're doing meatballs. Great. So I feel like everyone's been fairly represented.
She did the corned beef, and I was eating like corned beef sandwiches for like 3 days because I was like
all about
craving
the corned
it.
beef.
All right, so we're gonna fry these meatballs up, right? Mm-hmm. And you fry them. You fry them in the olive oil. You can bake them. Some people bake them. I mean, that's okay too, right?
You can bake them. I mean, honestly, I've seen people just leave them raw and stick them in the sauce, which is boiling them. I'm not a fan of that method at all, but I like them a little crispy. It doesn't develop the flavors in the same way, in my opinion, but also the air fryer is a wonderful tool for meatballs if you don't want to deal with the grease. They actually come out almost perfect in the air fryer as well.
My grandfather's in World War II, right? So he brought back all this stuff from Europe, and he brought back this one German fork.
A German fork?
A German fork.
All right.
And my mom cooked with it.
What was it like? Was
it had a swastika on it.
Stop it! No, it did not.
But it was made in the.
We have to edit that part. No, just
the metal part. But she cooked with that. I said, "Why you cook with that fork?" And she said, "Because it's good German steel." So whenever I do the meatballs, I do the fork. I'm using the spoon now.
You use the German fork?
No, I don't know whether that fork has lost to history.
That fork's got to go.
That fork
the German
lost
steel
to
or not?
history.
Out of here, Nazis. No, we're very PC
I'm just
on this
saying
show.
that's the way it was.
We're not cutting anything.
You know?
They look good, Dan. They look good.
All right, so we
So
fried
what's
the
the biggest?
meatballs.
What's your secret ingredient? Do you think it smells good, doesn't it?
What, for the meatballs?
Yeah. What do you think your secret ingredient is?
I think the breadcrumbs.
Yeah, I think it is.
Because
too.
everybody uses like the dry breadcrumbs, and that's okay, right? I like to I watch YouTube all the time, and I pick up like these different cooking techniques. And I look at this one guy, and he's like, "Oh, I'm using the bread." I'm like, "Okay." And then I found out my dad did that, and it's like I get the hoagie roll and I soak it in the milk, and that's what I do. So all those
texture-wise,
things.
how would you describe the difference for the inside of the meatball with breadcrumbs versus the bread?
Well, the breadcrumbs help give it some body, right? I mean, again, you can use the breadcrumbs, and that's going to help stretch out the meat. But I think the breadcrumbs,
It's like filler.
right? And you'll see it like when you eat the meatballs. Like, see right there, you see there's little pieces of bread on there and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not really. Yes.
But
ma'am.
again, this is like we're
What was that?
using
Yeah, certainly. You can ask questions at any point.
we're using the try-mix tonight. So, all right. So these meatballs have been frying. It takes do like this whole batch. It takes about 45 minutes.
You have a question?
So Dan, what kind of fat is in the meat? What kind of percentage?
Oh, good question.
That is a good
That's
question.
why I don't use just beef. You got to have pork. So if you can't use the Holy Trinity, the beef, pork, and veal, which is classic,
That's a great question.
Use
Brandon has
beef
a
pork.
comment about that. Real
right? 'Cause the
quick.
pork
Hold on.
gives it the fat. The
Brandon
fat makes it
Tomasello,
the
Well,
juicy.
Italian.
No, she said it
I know, like,
already.
we have our
Once you
Jewish
add the
friends
meat,
and they don't
it
eat
becomes
pork.
gravy.
I mean, that's okay, right? You can use the if you use beef
You can use the
and
beef
veal, it will be a little dry, but you could do that. You could just use all the beef, right? Yeah.
I think if you soak, the longer you soak the bread in milk, because my grandmother made it the same way, and the thing that I loved about her meatballs is that she fried them till they were like super crispy on the
Yeah.
outside, but when you open them, they were like soft and
Yeah.
supple, like really good. When you use breadcrumbs, they get dense. They
Yeah.
get very dense. It's a
Yeah.
very
It's
dense
like
meatball.
pasty,
Yeah, I mean,
right?
listen, I'm going to use breadcrumbs in our next recipe, and I'll show you why. But
To Kelly's point, you don't do this. This isn't like a 15, 20-minute thing. This is like a 3-4 hour process
to
on
make 'em
Sunday.
well.
Yeah, when you cook them, is there a certain temperature you want them? And is it medium well? Is it medium? Do you aim for something? Does the sauce cook them more, or what's your projected temperature?
Yes, yes, and yes.
Yes.
So you want to make sure they're browned, right? You brown them, and you can see some browning on these right here. This brown is like the fond that gives it the flavor, because when you put it in the sauce, that flavors the sauce, right? So even if they were a little underdone, which is kind of what you want, because you're not cooking them fully, you put them in the sauce, they're going to be going for like 3 hours, right? They're going to cook in there, and the longer you do it, it flavors the sauce, and the sauce flavors the meatballs. They get soft. So, all right, now we're going to move to the sauce part. So our meatballs were going. Can you turn that back on?
Yes,
again?
I can.
I got a question, Dan.
Yes, sir.
Now, once those meatballs are in that sauce,
Yeah.
does that sauce transcend to gravy?
Yes. Yes, it does.
My answer
Now
is no. It's,
Well, and what really
it becomes great sauce.
what really transitioned it is my grandmother
Great
used to.
question. Brandon has a comment. about
Security.
that. Real quick. Hold on.
Security.
Brandon Tomasello.
Is that on?
Italian.
Brandon, what is
Once you add the meat, it becomes gravy.
Yeah. Okay. Tomasello. His last name's.
Good job.
That's
Thank
right.
you.
Well, and the other thing is
That's pretty good.
my grandmother would add the drippings from the pan. So she would
Yes.
take the rendering off
Yes.
the bottom of the meatball pan and either throw a little sauce in it and go like this and
Yep.
dump the whole thing in the
Yeah,
pot.
the
So then
fat.
you're getting all the fat and the rendering off the meat. So then, I mean, that's how you make gravy. You guys know. If you've ever made gravy, it's just the rendering of the meat fat. That's how you make a gravy.
All right, so now we're going to do a quick run through of the sauce.
All
So
right.
we did the meatballs, we fried the meatballs, right? Now comes time to make the sauce. Yeah, I keep looking at you, Danielle. Keep looking at you. I am this is no brand thing here. I just want to get 3 of the same thing. But you
But
can
that
use,
being said, is that Cento?
This is Cento.
Cento is a South Jersey company.
Yes,
They are
from
literally
West Deptford.
They're in West Deptford.
But
Yeah,
like
they're-
Tuderoso, my mom used Tuderoso all the time. That has got the basil in it. I mean,
Yeah.
that's great. So what I think you have to use is you got to use the San Marzano tomatoes.
Yeah, that's they import
all
the
right?
San Marzano.
So when I start doing, what's San Marzano tomatoes, right? It really makes a difference. They're sweet. They're grown in volcanic soil, like Faye, right? No, like if you have a pineapple, or if you have a Hawaiian pineapple from right, it makes a difference. So, all right. So we do a little olive oil. We're going to build the base for this, right? We're going to add some onion. About half a small onion. Okay.
So like an onion this big
Yeah.
and half of it.
Yeah. Right.
I'm almost too short to see in that pot. They're gonna have to build me a platform back here.
Okay. Is that on high?
It's on pretty low actually.
Yeah. I got olive oil in there. I got about
You want it hotter or less hot?
a little less hot.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
I got about always olive oil, right? I don't use vegetable oil. I don't use what's the oil you use?
I use an
'Cause you
avocado.
kill it. Oh,
I use
not for
avocado.
Italian. It's got to be olive oil.
I only
Yeah,
use
Do you ever cook the onions within the meat?
Oh.
No, but there's
Plenty people do.
garlic in the meat, but I have the onions in the sauce, and now I'm gonna put the garlic. So I got a little bit of the garlic. I'm gonna put that in there.
Our next meatball has onions in the meat.
Oh, you should smell this, right? Now we're gonna cook the tomato paste. So I like my sauce thick so it sticks to the pasta, right? So 6-ounce can of pasta, or tomato paste, excuse me. I do about a tablespoon, right? About a tablespoon,
A tablespoon is 2.5 teaspoons.
right? Yeah, I'm like that guy. Like
If you don't have
my
a tablespoon.
grandmother, Grandma, give me your recipe. A little bit of this, I don't know. So
Stir till it's red.
yeah, so we're gonna cook that. We're gonna cook that tomato
Smells
paste
really good,
a little
looks
bit,
great.
right? Mm-hmm. Now we're gonna hit it with the San Marzanos. All right, the San Marzano tomatoes. And by the way, I tried to use ingredients here tonight that that was the crushed tomatoes. That's okay. I
You're
tried
gonna
to
do
use,
it to vary the texture in the sauce, right?
Yeah, we're building the flavor. This is exactly what we're doing. So I tried to use ingredients
Can I hold
that
that for a second? Go.
yeah.
Carry on.
I try to use ingredients that we can find in the store, and you can find Cento everywhere. You can find Tuderoso. That's what my mom used, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right now we got the San Marzano.
And if you want to be really extra, because it is gardening season, these look really cute on your windowsill with basil plants in them, and also like maybe little baby tomato plants. And if you want to
Really?
reuse, reduce, and recycle,
Never
yeah.
did that. Never did
Thanks,
that.
George. Yeah, they're great for like little planters.
All right. So we got,
My mother's maiden name was Saporito, and Saporito is a brand in Italy,
Hey,
and
Dan,
so
do
we
you
have a
put
couple
any
Saporito
wine in the
cans
sauce?
that are floating around still, and Saporito means delicious or tasty in Italian. So
all right, we're not done with the sauce. You just don't pour tomatoes in there. You got to juice it up a little bit. So
Kelly, remember your grandmother used to put a little water in that can.
she does.
Yeah, you're
can't-
right.
You can't waste
you
the
got
thing.
it right.
You can't
right?
waste the thing. It all goes in there.
That's exactly what you do. Right? You got to get the water in there. All right. The Parmigiano Reggiano that goes in there. About 2 tablespoons.
I learned that from
Also helps
Godfather
take the
1.
bitterness out. A little bit of basic. So like your dairies are basic. Tomatoes are acidic. Half and half is basic. Cheese is basic, and it helps with the acidity of the sauce.
Now the Calabrian secret weapon. Okay, my sauce sucked until my dad told me about Aunt Mary's secret Calabrian little slice of green pepper.
And you fell for this. What kind of-
I did because it was
'Cause
right.
it worked.
Tanya, was the sauce good when I started doing that?
Yeah,
See?
it's just-
So about a little sliver, about a quarter of a green pepper, it really gives a nice flavor. Small carrot, right? I like to puncture it a little bit to you know, with the
Open it up.
open it up a little bit, right? That's going to give it the sweetness. That's going to take the acidity out. Now, you know, we put the meatballs in there.
Now it's gravy. Sorry.
No, it's your show. Like,
No.
I can't, like,
No,
you
it's
know,
just-
I
this
gotta
is our
be.
shtick. It's just
I gotta
funny.
respectful.
We have like a point.
I gotta be respectful, Kelly. Right?
You're doing such a great job, Dan, that I just need to give you a hard time about something.
So, you know, this is like, I could do this blindfold. I've been doing this forever. I grew up on this. It's just
It's like Dan has his own cooking show.
no, it's just like, I love this. My grandmothers, I mean, we always had that. Hey, let's throw a little bit of that.
So what do we do for the next 3 hours while we're watching?
Dump that in.
Right? All right.
Do you put any wine in the sauce?
You know what? You can put wine in there. And if you do the wine, I would do it at the part where you're doing the onions and the garlic before you put the tomato paste in to get a little deglaze. Like if you look at my pan right here, there's a little bit of fond on there, and that's what you're doing with the sauce. You're building the flavors. So people think, oh, sauce. You just open a jar and put it in. No, you're building
Sunday supper,
flavors.
you're on.
So the wine.
This, I wish you could smell this. This smells so good. And this is just like, oh, and then we can't forget. You got to put a little. This is the only thing I put in my sauce, right? So the tomatoes I use usually have basil in them. You got to have a little bit of basil in there, right?
Yep.
And I put the cheese in there. Now I put what I did here. This was about 2.5 pounds of meat, right? This is enough to feed 4 or 5 people. Okay, I do about a tablespoon of oregano, and that's it. That's it. Now you let it go.
If you
let
put the
this
wine
go.
in early, it'll boil. It'll cook
Yeah.
down. It'll create sugar.
Yeah, the sauce will be a lot darker if you put a little bit of wine in
Darker,
there.
sweeter.
Yeah,
and it will
it
definitely.
gives a different profile.
It'll taste more French than Italian, in my opinion.
So-
You know, when I taste a wine-based sauce.
So we're talking about meatballs tonight, but this is the sauce, and this is the crucial, like Kelly was telling me, like her grandmother fried the meatballs, and they had the fried meatballs, which is awesome.
Just plain fried. They didn't go
Right.
in. We put them on rolls. Just
Right.
fried meatballs on a roll with butter.
Which
That's
is
how we
awesome.
ate them.
But when you're doing it in the sauce, you got to let this go for 3 hours. And generally, like how I know it's done, the green pepper I put in there, when that's real soft, it's done. About
There you
3
go.
hours.
That's
And
easy.
it.
And how about the carrot?
3 hours while we're watching that.
That's it,
Dan
guys.
already cooked a big batch of sauce that is out
Oh,
for
it's
everyone
ready.
to eat tonight.
It's ready.
And this was just so you guys would know.
So thank you for letting me to. I'm sorry, Benny.
How long have you been doing your business and
Yeah, I'd love to
How
know
long
more
you
about
cooking?
modern
Oh, it'll be
classical
3
chefs.
years in July. So Modern Classical Chefs will be 3 years old in July. And this is the kind of stuff, like I haven't been able to do this for anybody. Maybe that's a good idea. Maybe George will do like a Sunday supper.
Yeah, it's
Here
you know, it's easier
at
than you think it is.
SoundPlex.
Sunday supper, you're on.
Yep, you should do it.
This is, I mean, this is classic. It's like peasant food, but it's gold. This is what we grew. It's not. You can't, like, you put this on a plate. It doesn't look elegant. It's pasta and meatballs, right? Like here's another thing too, right? Like the pasta you select, right? You can use fresh pasta, okay, but you know this is the bronze drawn slow dye pasta.
What does that mean?
Not the 99-cent thing you get. This sauce right here, if you look at you could see the texture of it. This holds the sauce, and you can see how pale it is. It's dried for 18 hours. So the longer it's dried, it retains that. It's slow, and it retains the flavor. And again, I chose this brand because this is very accessible in the grocery store, right? But if you get the bronze drawn dried pasta, if you're not doing fresh, that's the way to go. And that's all I got.
All right. Thanks.